This 400 has leaky cork plugs in the back, so that means that this thing's gonna have to come on out of here. Don't mind me, I'm popular. Now, here's something that I want to do while this engine's coming out. You see, under these valve covers, you know, with all this stuff attached to it, the cylinder heads. These cylinder heads are a stock set of 452 casting number heads. They have been untouched. No porting has been done to them. From what I can tell, I don't think that these things have even been decked. So, that means that these are kind of low performance heads, you know, given their current circumstances anyway, they're low performance. They have very little compression with this engine, and, you know, they're not what I want. So, these heads will not come off. I cannot get to these head bolts down here with the header still in the car. So what better way to get these heads off than to just pull the engine all the way out? See what I'm going with here? This engine has to come out anyway, so while I have it out, I'm going to be working on these heads. And right here are the heads that I'm going to use. Now, it's kind of a controversial thing. A lot of people are going to say, what in the world are you doing? Because this is a set of 516 casting number heads. They're early model 383 heads, you know, nothing too awful fancy. These particular ones have a 208 intake valve, but the exhaust valve, you know, typically you see like a 172 on them, those heads. These heads came with a 160 from the factory. They have been upgraded to a 165 though, so they have a little bit bigger valve than stock. These things are closed chamber design. These intake ports are apparently not as good as the 452s, but I think that I can make these a little bit better. Plus, with the added compression, I'm going to have a good valve job on these. I'm going to have 25 thousandths taken off, so that way it'll give me, I believe it was a 68cc chamber. That right there will give me a good bump of compression and ought to give this 400 a little bit more power. But one thing that has been requested of me before I even bother to, you know, jack with these, I'm going to make sure that these things don't have cracks. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that. Now, a lot of folks will just go to a machine shop, say, hey, Magnaflux these heads for me. But I have this cool stuff up here. See these two bottles? Those two bottles right there will Magnaflux. They'll check for cracks. In fact, that's how I found a crack in the number one cylinder of the engine that was originally in my Pinto. So, here in a little bit, I'm going to get the heads out, get them all cleaned up, and I'll show you how to use this stuff. Since when did this become a cleaning channel? Don't use this in enclosed spaces. Why is it that I always wait to the heat of the day to come out here? You kind of need to do this to be able to see any amount of cracks that you may have, so yeah, you can use the oven cleaner like I did. You can use a furnace, you can use Dawn dish soap. Really doesn't matter as long as you get the job done. I just really like that oven cleaner because it works very, very well. But it's very caustic, so don't get it on you and don't breathe the stuff in. And just like that, after spray out from the garden hose, I have a clean cylinder head. I'm gonna let this dry for a minute. You know, it'll probably flash rust, unfortunately, but I'm gonna let it dry for a minute while I get the other cylinder head clean and ready to check for cracks as well. You'll ever just have a cat that won't leave you alone? Marble, you're a good cat. Come on, man, I'm trying to do some work. Here's the stuff that we're gonna use. It's called Spot Check. This particular one does not need any kind of, what do you call that? Black light or whatever that is. There's one of them that needs a black light, but this one is gonna turn out red. You do not need the black light for that. If it had the green stripe around here, you would. So, first things first, I shook this can up. This is the penetrant. You're gonna spray down the area that you're testing with the penetrant first and let it sit for about, 20 to 30 minutes to kind of soak in, after which I'll come back, wipe it off, and then we'll put up the developer. So I'll catch back up with y'all after I do that. Don't forget to put down your penetrant. Yeah, you can see it's red. I wish y'all had smell-o-vision though, because it's got a unique smell to it. Why does it have to be so bright outside? And it's hot! Hot, hot, hot! Like Buster Poindexter says. Anyway, both heads have had the treatment done. I got a blue rag here. I'm just going to wipe this one down because it's the only one that's ready. That one still has a good 20 minutes left to sit there and cure. So, hey, didn't someone ever tell you to just cut straight to the chase and get past all of this crap that you're doing? Huh, I never really thought of that. I guess I'll edit out the part of me just wiping this down. By the way, unless you want to look like you just busted an artery open, I recommend gloves, because this red dye gets everywhere. Anyway, now we get the developer. Let's see, what does it say? You gotta let it develop for 5 to 15 minutes for use with a visible or fluorescent penetrant. I have the visible one. This one has a ball in it like a paint can. Yippee! I'm sorry, guys. I've been watching Hater's Garage and it's got me in a weird, interesting mood. Good guy to watch, though. I recommend his channel. He's a lot of fun. But he has me being all kinds of weird and kind of myself, but whatever. It probably has something to do with all the coffee I had, too. Man, I had a lot of coffee today. So as you can see, it's going to sit here and develop up like so. Let it sit for a couple minutes. What this actually does is the penetrant will get into any amount of cracks or anything that's in there. And so once this stuff dries up, you'll be able to come through and just wipe it back off. And it'll show up, you know, any amount of cracks that may possibly be there. Hopefully there's none in these heads because, you know, I kind of want to run these. And my machinist buddy specifically said he ain't pulling no crap about cracks like he did with my other buddy. So I'm making sure that they don't have any. If they do, I ain't gonna bother. All right, looks like this head gets a clean bill of health. Not a single crack is shown here. The other head is still to be determined. I'm waiting on it to, you know, finish developing. That right there may be something, but we'll have to, you know, let it sit for a little while to figure out for sure, because it'll also do this kind of stuff with just like, you know, little surface cracks. Like I can see some right there, unfortunately. But like, it'll do it if you have just excess, you know, shmoo. So I'll let that sit for a little while and we'll figure out exactly what's going on. If anything, if that head's cracked, I do have another one of these heads, so it's not a huge deal. Well, fellers, that there's a bona fide crack. It's the only one I'm seeing in this head. I'll talk to my machinist friend and see what he thinks. But if he's like, no, I ain't dealing with it, I do have another head that I'll go grab. So, not an entirely lost cause here. But with that, I reckon I'm done. 'Cause it's hot. It's real hot out here. And I kind of want to just clean these things up and go back inside. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. I don't know, what do you want me to do? Film some sort of outro? That ain't me.